Okay, so we finally reached Friday, the end of the week, the end of the first week, and we've completed our midterms. I took a quick look at them. Looks pretty good, but I will have the grades by Monday, and I'll send them out to everybody, or possibly even send them out tomorrow, Saturday, whatever. Okay, but today we're going to go into a little bit more on bipolar junction transistors. And just to go back a little bit, you had an introductory yesterday, but going even just to catch up, essentially. In 1948, 3 scientists working at Bell Labs in New Jersey came up with an idea and put something together, which basically were a pair of PN junctions that are placed back to back, and in between the 2 PN junctions was a very thin layer of mildly doped semiconductor material. So basically we can have what we call an NPN semiconductor transistor, or we have a PNP semiconductor transistor. The one that's most often used is the NPN. Okay, it's more abundantly used. But basically, so we have 3 sections, and because we have 3 sections, then we have 3 wires. But 3 wires, you're going to have to. You have to figure out 2 wires are used for an input and 2 wires are used for an output. Okay, so you've got an input plus return, an output plus a return. So that makes 4. So because then you'd have 4 different things, you've got to, and you only have 3 wires, you're going to have 1 wire be a common. Okay. So that's why you have 3 different circuits. There's 3 ways you could do it. Okay, and we listed all 3 yesterday's PowerPoint presentation. Today, we're going to take a closer look at each of those circuits. Okay, and we're going to categorize each circuit according to what their capabilities are. When the transistors first came out, okay, it was a way of replacing those vacuum tubes with something that was low energy but created power, okay, amplified power, which was badly needed because of the old vacuum tube technology used up a lot of power, okay, to create just a small step in power generation. But by the use of a transistor, you can run these things using batteries, okay. Whereas with vacuum tube technology, you have to plug the particular instrument that you're using into a wall to get much more power out of it. But with the transistor, then you can create actually a radio that you can carry around with you. You don't need to plug it in any place. You just put a few batteries in it. Okay. When they first came out, also the big selling point was, oh, my radio's got 24 transistors, or oh, my radio's got so many transistors. The number of transistors that it had basically told you how much power there was in that particular unit. Okay, and but I don't want to downgrade the idea of vacuum tube technology. The kind of instruments that were made with vacuum tube technology were excellent. Okay, and you can still buy some at high-end hi-fi places. And they were the first ones that came out. They're probably still selling the original vacuum tube, the technology power supplies that used the sound that came out of those things was very crisp. Okay, so hi-fi aficionados, they'll spend thousands and thousands of dollars to get one of those units to get the best sound that you could get. It's, quite frankly, in my opinion, it's better than what you get from solid state. But solid state gives you a lot more things. The generation of power is just one benefit. The other benefit is that a transistor basically can be a unit that it acts like a switch. When you activate it, it's on, and you can deactivate it, it's off. So it's basically an on and off switch, which allows for binary type of equipment to be used. And binary logic, which is the logic that is used in your computer, okay? Computer and so many of your other high-tech instruments. And there we will have a course on that later on, okay, digital course. But understand that the invention of the transistors allowed us to get one step closer to making smaller size computers and home computers. Okay. Besides the bipolar junction transistor that we're talking about for this week, next week we will go into the other type of transistor, okay, the gated transistor, which really actually took ideas from the original bipolar junction transistor, but now created devices that you basically can store information with. And that led to the computer age that we have now. Okay, so we will go over the different circuits, whether they be NPN or PNP type of transistors. We'll show both ways. I will also, you may also want to take a look at the product specs for two typical transistors. That'll be at your, that'll be available to you. So if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. I'd love to answer some questions. Take care.